on the News Channel 5 network. This is OpenLine.
Hello everyone, welcome to OpenLine. I am Ben Hall. A very interesting topic tonight. We're talking about a business that people really don't talk about much, but it impacts a lot of people, and it is surprisingly unregulated. We're talking about the repo industry. You may have seen some of these things on TV, where these guys come and they repo cars and these reality shows. Well, that's not reality, and there is some concern among some in the industry that it's not regulated enough. I'm very happy to have with us Ray Crocker with American Locators and Recovery right here in Nashville. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Veteran of the industry, you've done this for a long time.
34 years.
34 years. And I did a story with you a couple of years ago where you said you had concerns about the lack of regulation in the industry.
Correct.
Why?
Well, two things. One, the majority of the people in this business do not know the laws. And at first, it was the Uniform Commercial Code laws that impacted the repossession business, and now lately the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau has stepped in. But these guys, when they buy a tow truck, they think, hey, I'm a repo man. I'll go out there and take the car or the truck or whatever. And their training's been from watching Operation Repo or Lizard Lick, Kentucky, that Lizard Lick repossessions down in North Carolina, and they don't know.
And so what happens when you have people who don't know the law that are going out and repossessing things?
Well, people get hurt, people get killed. We've had 2 Tennesseans in the last 7 years killed at the hands of a repo company, and they weren't fully trained. The guy that owned the company said, hey, you ride around with Charlie over here for a couple of weeks and we'll put you out on your own. Well, the first night he was out on his own, he had to repossess a car. And the whole story was the guy just retired and just got his first retirement check and paid the car off that morning, but the bank didn't call off the repo. The repossessor was taking the car out. The guy's holding the title in his hand. Put my car down. He doesn't do it. And the guy takes off with it. The guy's running beside the wrecker. Stop. He doesn't stop. He turns around, walks back to his house, falls over dead with a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
The bank who hired them had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars out, as did the repo company. Because both of them shared in the liability. One, the repossessor didn't stop, and two, the bank didn't call off the repo.
What is it that repo people need to know that they don't know? Well, in that case, what should they have done?
The law says that you have the right to repossess the collateral, okay, but you can't do it under protest. And protest doesn't mean necessarily fighting or arguing or anything like that. It means you can't take it. You can't have my car. Now, the repossessor has the right to sit there and talk to the debtor and say, well, if I don't, these are the things that can happen down the road that can cost them more money. So it's kind of a bar deal, but a lot of the police officers don't know the laws. They say, you got to have a warrant, you leave. And you have to do that, you know.
You can't take it under protest. It seems to me like you would get constant protest. It seems to me like people would say, don't take my car, you can't take my car, I paid.
That's why they move in the middle of the night or when they're at work and they take the car when nobody sees them or can talk to them.
And it's a tough business.
It is.
Why, you've done it for a long time. If people say, boy, how can you do this business? What do you say?
One, you got to know the laws. And the laws, there's several training manuals out there. The the CARS program, written by a good friend of mine named Joe Taylor down in Florida, who has written a standard that's been accepted by the state of California, by the state of Illinois, and by the state of Florida. There's only 3 states that regulate repossessors, and those are the 3 states. Tennessee, I've been before them for 2 years, and they think it's an unneeded law.
You've gone before the legislature for at least 2 years.
Yes, sir.
And you've said we need, what would it entail? It would entail what? A class, I guess? Or what are you saying?
It would entail a background check on the individual, on the company, on the individuals that they hire, It would entail a drug test, or a periodic drug testing, and it would demand training and a certification course on these people so they know the laws and what they can and can't do.
In the story that I did, we found a repo company here in Nashville and looked at some of the people that were working there. There was one person arrested 19 times. He had convictions for assault and reckless driving. Another person, 30 arrests, including convictions for assault and criminal impersonation. Are you saying those people shouldn't be doing this?
What I'm saying right now is they're still in the business. They're not working for that particular company. They have their own company. Nashville has a transportation board which provides licensing for people who own tow trucks. So we're in the repo business. These guys, they don't have that license because they won't give them one. So they operate in an outlying county or city, but they come in here at night or during the day hoping that they don't get caught. And they're still in the business. They haven't quit.
And how does this business work? You contract with banks, or how does the business work?
Well, basically, you go out and call on clients, finance companies, banks, or whatever, or you're a member of a trade association. There's several trade associations. I'm a member of Time Finance Adjusters, which is based out of Florida. Then there's American Recovery Association. There's National Finance Adjusters, and there's Allied Finance Adjusters. And all of them provide training for their members. And they bring in experts to tell the laws. And lately it's the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau laws on information regarding the debtor. And I don't know, but if a collector calls somebody and it's about the husband's debt, they cannot talk to the wife about that debt because they're not on the contract unless they're given permission by the debtor. You can talk to my wife or you can talk to my daughter. And
so you get a call from a bank and the bank says, go pick up this car.
Go get John Doe's car. And we go out there and we try to get it without making any contact. If we have to, based on the circumstances, we will make contact, but we make sure we have to contact the debtor.
And why is this necessary? Why is this a necessary job? I mean, I guess it's somewhat obvious, but I mean, again, if there are people that are out there going, boy, I don't like the whole idea of it. Why is it necessary?
Well, you have these finance companies, Captive, which is Ford Credit, GMAC, Nissan, Toyota, and so on. They finance for the manufacturer. They're called a captive finance, and they need to pick up collateral. I know years ago, Nissan and GMAC and all of them were picking up anywhere from 13,000 to 15,000 cars a month. And they have to get that collateral back in because they're losing money. They're not getting the revenue off of it. So they have to say, I need my collateral, I need to sell it, I need to take my loss and go on. They just can't let it lay out there and the guy keep driving it and not have a revenue off of it. And a lot of times they can't find the debtor, they can't find anything about them, so they'll turn it over to skip tracing company, and you find them and you get them. Well, we do skip tracing, and we found several hard individuals.
I want to talk, because you got some crazy stories. I want to talk about that. But have you ever felt sorry for any of the people that
yes.
you're having to? You have?
Yes, sir.
And how does that go?
Well, the first person I ever felt sorry for had to pick up his car. Didn't live too far from me. And I went down there and the guy came out, he's in a white shirt, dressed nice, crying. I said, what happened? He said, I've had 2 strokes, I can't work, no insurance, had to let my car go. And I felt sorry for him because his credit was jammed up going up to that point in time. You know, people get behind for 2 reasons. One, they've had a loss in the family, loss of income, or tragedy, hospital bills, and so on. With those people, the finance companies try to help. But then you have the guy that just a slow pay, and he won't pay you, and he thinks, well, they don't know where I'm at, and they call him up, and, well, you got me, I'll pay you. And then pretty soon it gets so far behind, it's too late, and you have to pick up the collateral. And then, you know, the people that have the health problems are the ones that bother me the most.
Yeah.
You know? the decent people that tragedy has struck them in some way, a loss of a loved one, a guy dies and the car's in his name, and the family, they can't afford to handle it, you know.
And that's why, I mean, you feel like this is an important business. It is. It's part of the way. If you don't pay for something you said you would, then, you know, you shouldn't keep it. Now, there's tragic circumstances, and those are difficult. But so you've been before the legislature 2 different times, and the legislature says we don't need more oversight. Leave things the way they are.
Right. And why, I don't know. I had the Tennessee Bankers Association was against it. They felt that, well, we've got these good old boys on these small town banks, and they're picking their cars up and nothing's wrong, and they're doing a good job. And we'd hate to have them go take this training and licensing and do all this testing, but they need to know the law. You know, I'm not asking them to put them out of business. I'm just saying train them, you know.
They're probably not paying them very much.
We have people in Nashville repossession for $150, $175, and they don't have the right insurance. We have towing companies out there that repo, and they don't have the proper insurance. A towing policy, an insurance company that insures a towing company will not, that policy will not cover a repo company. A repo company's insurance policy will not cover a towing company, a towing operation. It's 2 sets of entirely different types of losses.
So this is a very interesting conversation. And so we have to take a break.
Okay.
This is a window into a world that a lot of people don't get to see. So I want to continue to look into that world, kind of get your perspective on it, talk some more about the need for more oversight and regulation, but get into kind of the day-to-day world of all of this. We'll take a break. If you want to call, there's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.